Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Thursday. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. Guys, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you so much for your emails. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm definitely at the back end of this cold. However, I'm still sounding like a whole moose up over here, so please bear with the girl there. Okay. I got a quick word for you. I don't know. It should be quick. I don't know. Some of you guys are going to be partnered up with public figures. If this word is for you, you will know. Remember, every word is not for everyone, but it will always be like a confirmation in your spirit, right? Some of you are going to be paired up with public figures. And public figures, I mean, that's pretty broad. Celebrities, NBA players, basketball, that is basketball, but NFL players, etc., talk show hosts, comedians, whatever, just people who have that public platform. And it's not going to be for the reason you think, right? Because I'm sure when I said NFL player, NBA, somebody just like, ooh, let me just, right, yeah. I mean, it is, but it's not, right? Get in where you fit in. But it's so much bigger than this physical thing. But I'm going to hit this from a couple of different angles. First and foremost, remember, the public figures already have that platform. They already have the audience. Many of them have a lot of people. Their reach is great, right? So, of course, their audience grew initially, and still, right, for some, their audience grew because of their talent, whatever that talent was for them, but that's how they got the platform. But seasons are changing, things are shifting, there's a shift. So if you're tapped in, you'll realize that some celebrities, public figures, they're really starting to lean, they're pressing more into God in the sense of they've always knew God, but it's almost like, but the world don't want to hear that, because it's almost like my platform, they came to me because of this particular gift. So yes, I've always loved the Lord. Yes, I know God, but that is not what they want. So I'm not up on stage talking about God 24 hours. However, now if you're tapped in, you will see some of them are not afraid any longer that they would be shunned from, I guess, their regular people, but instead they're feeling more inspired now to speak about God. To the top of my head right now, one who I'm thinking about is Johnny Gill. I mean, listen. I mean, in the middle of the show, I mean, listen, singing my, put on that red dress, etc., and can literally hold a word, and I mean a word. But again, you have people, these religious folks, or people who just don't understand that God is very strategic, who would shut things down like that on sight. It's almost like, how in the world are you sitting here talking about putting on a red dress, and 2 minutes later you're talking about what God have done for you? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Put on a red dress. Put on a red dress. What is demonic about singing about putting on a red dress? He's not singing about, because of course you have certain music that is completely demonic and complete, but like get over yourself. Stop trying to make everything so religious, and it has to be sanctified and churchy and Stacey Adams and slippery socks in order for him to say that he loves God and what God has done in his life. God have to do what God do. If it has to be a process for God to start one way, and even though it may not look like it's spiritually mature enough for you, that's not your call. I'm so up in my feelings right now. I'm just sick. I'm sick of these judgmental folks, and they don't even realize they're getting in God's way, and they don't even understand how dangerous that can be. If you don't understand it, just close your mouth. Go do what you do, right? Go reach your audience, because you're too focused on the wrong thing. You're missing your whole audience. Your whole household is in shambles, but you over here judging somebody who's singing about a red dress somewhere, or somebody who's showing too much legs. Please go have a seat somewhere. Jesus. Whew, I just had a moment. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. So, okay, if you realized after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, of course, everything got shut down, right? Hollywood, concerts, etc. All these things got shut down. So, and not just for them, but for all of us. It was that wake-up call. Like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, I didn't even know this could happen. So I need to really start trying to tap in and figure out what God want me to do, because there's so much uncertainty in the world in general. You need to be in alignment. Like, you really need to be in God's will, because when things get crazy again, which they will, if you're in God's will, you're good. You're good. But if you're no longer in God's will and things get shooken up and nothing else like gets back to some type of normalcy, we're going to be in trouble if we're not in God's will. So you will see, because I go to a lot of concerts, and I'm telling you, it's so many different celebrities now who are literally just speaking about the goodness of God on their stages. And I've witnessed countless times how the people in the audience are so gravitated in awe about the messages. Let it be DMX. There's so much people, right? They're in awe. Okay, so it's not that the people in the audience don't want to hear about God. That's not what it is. It's just that God has to strategically do things. And so once the celebrity or the person who has the public platform, once God starts working on them more and more, then God will start to prove to them, in God's own personal way, that's a private thing with them and God, that listen, you've already gotten your life together with me behind closed doors. I know that one of your concerns are if you start going the direction in which I'm pulling you, your concern is going to be, how in the world am I going to go from making thousands and millions of dollars, which I've done all my life to take care of my family, this is all I know, and then you're asking me to go this direction. And again, that doesn't even mean preacher, right? That can be in so many different directions. But you're asking me to go this route, and I just don't even, how is that going to, so it's a faith move. So it's like God is giving them nuggets. Well, I'm giving you nuggets. I'm giving you signs and wonders, showing you that when I'm prompting you and convicting you to say something on the stage that may only be 10 minutes out of your 3-hour show, I'm showing you that the audience is already tapping into that. So I'm giving you signs and wonders that when I start really pulling you, they'll follow. They'll follow. In fact, they want it. So the point is, okay, so the celebrity or the public figure already have the platform. They know God in their own way, etc., right? But here you got the power, right? Not to say they don't have it, but I'm trying to make a point here. You got the power. You got everything that you learn in this process. You got everything that you learn through these attacks and God building you through that process, the process that you're trying so hard to get up out of, not even realize that God is really building you to position you, because he's going to start linking you with people. And you're used to a small audience, which is great. If you only have one, that's amazing. But when some doors open, you're going to go from 1 to boom, 500, 500 to boom, 1,000. 1,000 to 10,000. So you have to be so solid and solidified in who you are, how God uses you, your confidence, your faith, your this, your that. You got to be so solid, because it's not going to just be random. It's going to be accelerated. It's going to be sudden. It's going to be accelerated. And so however God decides to link it, which obviously can be in different ways, right? It can be the partnership of, okay, this particular celebrity already knew, like they already knew God front and back, right? They just never really spoke about it. And then God partners you guys together for bigger purposes. Or it may be that, okay, this celebrity knows God, but haven't really went through some fire, because they have so many people around them that can protect them from certain things, but you've been through that fire. So you may be called to back them. You may be called to cover them, right? Or it may be, you may be the one who's really not solid, right? You got a taste of some things, but you don't even know behind the scenes. They're the solid ones. They've been through some fire, right? Fire you don't know about. They got that thing on lock, regardless if they ever really spoke about it at the time. And now when you're joined, boom, they cover you. They cover you. And it could be something that's not on a larger platform, if you will. This can be what do you call it when you go to different countries and it's ministry, but it's, what is the word I'm looking for? When you go to different countries and you kind of like help the poor and help people who have not heard about God. I don't know. You guys tell me out in the comment section, please. So it could go in different directions. So it just doesn't mean like, okay, two people collide and now you're on stages with thousands. I mean, it definitely could be that, but it could be something just as small as community work, etc. But this is why God is really pressing upon some of you guys about your confidence and your self-esteem. Again, that comes from seeing yourself the way God sees you. That comes from knowing how God uses you now, right? How he uses you now. Got to be so solid in that and not let these religious folks shake you because you don't have on black stockings and kitten heel white shoes. Like you... Woo! Shout out to my kitten heel folks. Okay. So you got to be so confident. This is why God is really pressing, right? Pressing that you got to get confident. And again, those are the internal spiritual things, of course. Again, on the physical side of things, listen, we can sit here and say all day long, well, people just going to have to accept me the way I am, and I don't have to do this, I don't have to change it. I mean, listen, that's true. But I'm talking about becoming your best self, not for other people, but truly becoming your best self. Start eating more clean. Start working out. Doesn't mean anything that you got to be a size 2. Because let me tell you something. I don't even want a size 2 near me. Not a person, if you will, but like a dress, right? No. We good up over here with all those things. Well, we good. Trust me, right? We good. So I'm not speaking about size and this and this. I'm speaking more about becoming your best self, because you're going to have to enter rooms with these individuals who are going to have other men checking for them, right? Other women checking for them. You gonna have to be able to just, it ain't even that serious. It ain't even that serious, but you're popping off every 2 minutes because this chick pulling him or this, that stuff is so petty. You got to be so solid that if you walk in a room with 500 beautiful chicks, you already know he ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. right? You got to be so solid, but you can't be that way unless you really know who you are and what you carry, unless you know that you are truly connected to the individuals that God has ordained. So it's bigger. It's so much bigger than God may send me a millionaire, multi-millionaire, right? It's so much bigger than, oh, I can take pictures for the Instagram. Child, let me tell you something. When you get to a certain level, you'll be trying to duck and dodge that stuff. You want to keep people out your business because it's already heavy to carry certain things. So all that other extra energy about people trying to get into your personal life or trying to really, like, you don't even want that stuff. You try to stay away from social media in that sense, right? You're just living behind the scenes, right? The quiet life. So it's a perspective shift. So if God have promised you a public figure, if God have promised you that you're going to be on stages in front of thousands and millions, and yes, but it may, all caps, may not be the perspective that you think. For some, yeah. For some, yeah. But it may not be the perspective that you're thinking that you're going to have. God is just going to give you this life for just to look good on Instagram. That is so petty. That's all you right there, right? That's all, missionary work. It just popped in my head, missionary work, right? Some of that stuff's going to be, listen, missionary work. You're not about to be sitting here in no red bottom snapping pictures doing missionary. Like, listen, this thing here is, I got to go, guys. I didn't talk long enough. I just wanted to share that really quickly while it was in my spirit. So, if it's for you, tap in. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.